if the regular playbook for growing a business is what's actually holding you back? Today, is part of the 30-day founder blueprint, we're going to talk about how you can have big time growth, break into new markets, earn revenue, do all of that without the huge cost of an in-house sales team. What we're going to be talking about is how you can leverage what's called channel partners, a channel partner go-to-market strategy that will help you grow without having to hire a bunch of sales staff. Now, one point about that, as the founder of your business, you are the chief salesperson. I want to let that set in. I know a lot of founders try and outsource sales activities, and it just doesn't tend to work as well. First of all, early stage startups can't afford expensive sales staff. And secondly, the founder is usually the one with the most passion about what they're doing, and passion is often what sells, at least in early stage startups. So the grind of traditional scaling, the old playbook just doesn't work exactly right. The problems with it are things like high costs for paying salaries of experienced salespeople, a lack of speed because it takes time to hire the right salespeople, to meet the right salespeople, educate them about what they're selling, do all these things. And so you can have challenges with limited reach and stuff like that. So the solution to this is going to be considering, for the right business, shifting your thinking and moving away from doing all the selling yourself to where you're leveraging an ecosystem or a partner-led revolution. This works really, really well. A channel partner go-to-market strategy. Okay. So this is about leveraging reach and relationships and expertise of other people, other companies, right? And these other companies become part of your ecosystem. You become part of them. You become part of you become an extension of them, and they do of you. So it's important to be very careful about the partners that you choose. But this works really, really well. It works in my industry where I work in a day job. We build software for 7,000 or 8,000 financial institutions. And we have fintech companies come to us all the time who want to leverage our existing relationships. I mean, we have 7,000 plus customers that companies that get to partner with us get access to. They also don't have to hire a sales staff. We have a sales staff. If we partner with the fintech and we like working with them, our sales staff will sell their product on behalf of them. Now, we get some revenue for that, so you are exchanging revenue, but it's still a great growth strategy when it works. Okay, so who are these partners? They can be sellers or distributors. All right. They could be what's called value-added resellers. They don't just sell your product, but they add services and things like that on top of it. They could be system integrators or implementation partners. Maybe you build the product, but someone else installs it at the company. Okay, that's a partnership approach you could use. The most common channel partnership go-to-market strategy that you might be familiar with is having affiliates or referral partners. So a simple one would be Amazon grew a lot because of its affiliate program. They would give you a personalized link, and if you recommended a book or something that they sold on their site and people clicked on your link, you would get paid a small commission. And that's affiliate marketing. Referral partners, that's one of the most common ones that you can use. Problem with that is managing those relationships. How do you know whose link was clicked on? How do you track all of that? And then there's technology partners, those types of things that you can use. So what's great about this is it just helps you avoid the costs of growing a sales staff. It helps you take advantage of where your customers, your ideal customer profile is already spending their time. So if they are already, another good example of this would be there's a business-to-business networking group that I used to years ago, a decade ago, be very active in. It's called BNI, Business Network International. And the whole idea there is you could take people from different business types of business, put them all in the same room, and they would pass referrals to each other. So if I was a painter and I was painting the house for someone and they said, hey, do you know anybody who does tile work? I would say, yeah, sure. Joe from my BNI group does tile work. He does great work. And you do a referral. Those models work really, really well. You just have to be careful that you're working with the right partners, because when they are selling on your behalf, they are representing you. And so if customers get mad, they're not just going to get mad at the partner, they're going to get mad at you. So this is very, very, very important. Now, this strategy does not only work for startups. So it works great for startups because you're not taking on all this cost. But even large enterprise level companies use this channel-led go-to-market strategy. So Microsoft does this. Intel does this. Matter of fact, I believe in the early days, it was either Microsoft or Apple, that Intel was one of their channel partners. HubSpot uses a lot of channel partners. They have their own ecosystem where you come to HubSpot, and for things that they don't want to do themselves, for implementations, things like that, they have an entire list of partners that you can pick from to do business with. So these work really, 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 really great. Now, if you're thinking about how this is going to work, here are the pillars you need to think about of a successful partner program. Pillar number one needs to be crystal clear the value proposition. What's in it for both parties in the relationship? That's really, really important. You need to have a good engagement engine. So partners need to have tools and knowledge to sell effectively. You need to provide them materials and battle cards and things like that they can use about your product so that they understand it well and they can represent it well. You need to have perfect, relentless alignment and communication. So you can't just sign up partners and leave them there. You need to keep communication ongoing. With partners, I would establish KPIs. So if a partner comes on, but they're not meeting certain thresholds, it could be time to remove that partner. You got to have transparent and motivating incentives. So the way in which you pay partners really matters. You may pay them per sale. You may pay them some other way, a percentage of a sale, those types of things. Okay, it needs to work within your financial model, but it has to incentivize them enough. If you're only paying them $5 for something, they're not going to put a lot of time and energy into that, and they're not going to represent you well. And then not all partners are equal. You need to segment them based on their business model and their market focus. Make sure it fits the ICP that you're calling on and it works. So the traditional path, hiring people, things like that, it's expensive. It can be slow. Sometimes it works for the right things, but a channel partner go-to-market strategy can work really well for a new startup. The challenge is going to be developing the relationships with the partners and getting them to see value in representing your product. It helps you move away from relying on your own efforts and taking advantage of ecosystems that they've built. You can leverage trust, all these different things. It's a great strategy to think about. Make sure you take the time as you're launching this new venture. Think about how you can leverage a channel-led go-to-market strategy and how you can benefit from it alongside your partners and vice versa.